coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Hey man, shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Y'all know what's coming now. Can you stop? Boom! I appreciate the support. We out here, man. 33 years of prison stories. We rolling. We pushing P, pushing positivity. Can't stop, won't stop, man. We got people to reach, lives to save, and youngins to get on the right track, man. And that's our motivation. That's our inspiration. And that's what we're going to keep on trying to do, man, over here on Team Banky Pound. Big love to everybody who follow me. Make sure you check your status. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, comment, share the video so that we can get back in this algorithm, man. Y'all know the people just hit me in the head, had me in the Bing, had me in the hole, had me in segregation. We out now. Let's turn it up. Let's go straight to 200K. Let's get it. Let's go. I'm trying to grind up some capital, man, so I can make this meet and greet happen. So y'all stay tuned. Appreciate you all. Big love, big love. Hey, listen. This was not the video that I was going to do, but I'm going to do it because of what I got on. I got on the Sugar Ray Robinson paraphernalia. You understand? The greatest, the original, the first, the baddest, the last. There ain't going to be nobody that ever surpass him. So just by me thinking about that, I just thought to myself, out of 33 years of prison, 3,000, out of 33 years of prison, man, 12,365 plus days. You did. I think to myself, out of all the people I met, out of all the gangsters, out of all of the head busters, head crackers and all of that, I say, who was the first gangster I met? And I go back to starting my time, in the jail, and then going to Southampton receiving, and then going straight to the wall. And it's the first gangster that I met. The first gangster that I met was P.I. The first gangster that I met was P.I. P.I. was a real penitentiary gangster. He was a real penitentiary gangster. When I first met P.I., I hadn't ran across nobody like that yet. Seeing the murder, in prison, within the first week, seeing the things that was going on up in there, seeing all the violence, seeing all the crazy stuff. That's a whole lot to digest, man. Being in your early 20s and you in the penitentiary. I'm like 20, 21 years old. So it was crazy to me, and it had me, kind of, in shock. And P.I. slept on the bottom floor. It's 4 tiers in the wall. 4 tiers. And y'all know I don't really like heights. Unfortunately, I got put on the 4th floor. I couldn't do nothing about it. It was all single cell at that time. So I'm up there on the 4th floor by myself. You know what I'm saying? And the tier is so narrow, man. And it's just so far down, And if you look at old videos or some videos they show now with documentaries on the wall, you see they got these cages up there where you can't go through the bars. When I was in there, they didn't have that. The bars had the open space so you could, get to fighting or get on the ground or something and roll over. It's ball game for you. So that was dangerous within itself, plus the height. So it was crazy to me. But P.I. was on the bottom floor. And I spoke about P.I. in videos before. I may have did a video about P.I., but this is another video because I'm thinking about the first gangster that I met, and he got to be the first gangster, cause P.I. had a lot going on in that penitentiary, and at that time I think he had already been locked up, for a minute, man, maybe in the dubs, 20 something, and he had a system, and later, after, doing a whole lot of time, I understood. But at the time, I didn't understood. I never seen nothing like that. Everybody gave him respect for the most part. And I just remember when I first seen him, what I'm saying? Seeing how he was moving, seeing how everybody was going back and forth to his cell. Everybody was talking to him. everybody. I just saw so much traffic going back and forth to his cell. So then when I ended up, meeting him myself and talking to him, this is after I done seen, the murder and everything, and he was like, boom, I'm trying to get me a Bethlehem. Everybody say you gotta talk to PI, right? So when I go talk to him and I tell him what I want and everything, and he was like, you got some money? I was like, I can get some money. He's like, I'm talking about cash money. I was like, yeah, I can get some. Because, you could go in the visiting room and get it, And I'm just getting locked up, man. My people gonna do whatever it is that I need to get done. They just want me to be safe. So I can remember he's telling me how much money to get, bring it to him, and he got me. That's the story I told y'all when I ended up going to visit him, give me some cash, came back, I gave it to him, and gave me that Bethlehem, man. Told me to put my arms in the bar, he slid the joint in the sleeve of my coat, and it's in a bag, and I go upstairs and I get in the cell and I bust it open. And I see this big old Bethlehem, man, with the jagged edges on the back, the rubber grip, and the compass on it. I'm like, good gosh almighty. Hey, look, felt like Christmas. Because I felt like ain't nobody gonna, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They ain't doing nothing as long as I got this, and then like I told you, I had that feeling, man, it just empowerment and like I'm ready for whatever, this place crazy, but I'm gonna be crazy with it, if somebody come messing with me. And then I had, just like I had that thought, man, it was like boom, it just overwhelmed, came over me like, boom, I just got here. You know what I'm saying? If I got this, what they got out there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at this, and if somebody hit me with that, I'm gone. I'm out of here. It ain't no doubt in my mind. This was a real knife, a Rambo jump. So if I could buy that just coming in, what they already got out here, oh man, I went from being empowered to being like scared, terrified, like, cause I felt like I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I can't take that. If somebody stabbed me like that, what if they get me in my neck, in my face, in my chest or something? So it just raised a lot of questions in my mind, man. And I think in a way, when I look back on it, it made me more dangerous because I'm so paranoid or shook about getting stabbed that I'm going to do it first if I have confrontation. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't take it in what I seen, what I've already seen. So it was crazy, man. But P.I. was like, he was the dude. You know what I'm saying? And then I had kind of like mixed feelings about even talking to him because of what I seen he had going on. And I'm so green in the penitentiary at the time. I'm looking at him like, cause he in a cell by himself. He got a boy beside him on his left. He got a boy beside him on his right. These is peoples, right? And at the time I don't even know what like peoples is, but I know they homosexuals. And they everybody said them his boys, right? So I'm like, boom. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, he gay. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm thinking in my mind, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not knowing penitentiary jargon, you know, and I know on the street, and most people just that's how they look at it. That's how society look at it. You messing with a man, you gay. That's how people look at it. They don't look at it like that in the penitentiary. But I'm from the street, so I'm looking at it like, oh, he messing with two dudes. He gay. That's what I'm thinking. But he respected, and I see how he getting respected. He not getting treated like gay people on the street. He not being, ostracized. He not being, disrespected or in any kind of way, because he gonna do something to you. He gonna do something to you, So it was like confusing to me, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't act gay, he didn't talk gay, he walked around like a gangster. So he was the only dude that I know of, man, that they ain't even lock his cell, man. He had his cell open at all times. So if you only time he locked his cell when he wanted it locked. If he told the police to open his cell, they'll open his cell. And this was when they won't let but one tear out at a time because there was so much violence up in that joint. When I get in, there was so much violence going on. They started letting one tear out at a time because they had recently come off like a year or two locked for so many murders happening on there. So they won't let out but one tear at a time. And Another tier could be out, and PI could get out and come get you if he wanted to come get you, right? So that was crazy to me right there. Then he was loaning out money. He was loan sharking. He had the boy on the right hand side writing a lot of letters to people like pen pals and stuff, getting money come in. He had the other boy doing all of that crocheting stuff, like crocheting, like Afghans or whatever they used to call them things, and ponchos and sweaters and scarves, and they selling this stuff out on the street. COs is ordering this stuff and buying. Man, they making money hand over fist, and it's all going to him. It's all going to him. So I'm like, man, this joker right here, and he loaning out money, and he loaning out store box money, and he loaning out real cash. He loaning out money to police till they get their check. Polices, cash money. I'm like, oh yeah, he different. And I hadn't seen nothing like that at this time in my bit. I hadn't seen anything like this. He's selling knives. Whatever you want, he could get. He was like the character in Shawshank Redemption. He was like Red, but he was dangerous. You know what I'm saying? He could get anything you want in the penitentiary. He was the man to talk to, but he was dangerous. You understand? And he had a hot head. He had a hot head. He'll go from 0 to 1,000, like you won't even see it. He be talking to you, and he just talk fast. You're like, yeah, I'm just saying, but you got my money, right? I mean, no, but what I'm trying to tell you, PI is over. No, but you got my money, right? No, get my cut. And he'll just, yeah, it'll shock you. He'll just be talking to you, and then he'll get right up on you, man, and his whole facial expression and everything will change. And he like, you can get the money? No, I'm ahead. Look, but I supposed to had it on the day. I know I supposed to had it on, but I'm saying, so you got it though, right? No, but what I'm trying to tell you, it was late. I'm gonna bring it to you like the man. Get my cut. And he'll get up on you. He'll pull that thing. Man, listen. He had you ever see them fingernail clippers? He had a big one, the biggest fingernail clippers. Dude, Jones, probably like the size of your finger. You know what I'm saying? He had big junk, but he had, the ones that got all them little apparatuses on it. But then they got the one that you could open it and like file your fingers. He had one like that, but he had a knife on it, and the knife was razor sharp. Razor sharp. Now, even before I got there, I heard he done sliced a lot of faces, a lot of necks, a lot, a lot. And I seen it. You know what I'm saying? I seen the junk. He flicking that junk off. Give my gun. You better have my gun. You better have by this evening. I'm telling you right now. And then if you look around, and I look back at it in retrospect, and he always, if he pulling up on somebody or doing something like that, he had them boys somewhere in the vicinity, right? And they just standing around, but they had that thing on them too. So if somebody jump off, they gonna move when he move. They gonna do what he do, and then you ain't got to question that. You understand? And they coming. Forget the fact that they homosexual. Forget the fact that they boys. They gonna follow the leader. He is the leader. He the man in this situation. They gonna do whatever he say do. Whenever he say do. If he tell them to stab the police up, they're gonna stab the police up. They're not gonna ask him why. They're not gonna ask him for what. They're not gonna say, do I gotta do it? They going and do it. So, this is the power he had when I first got up in there. And I ain't, like I say, I had never seen it. So I'm like, man, what the, and he, I say it again. I know y'all gonna say that with all the things I'm telling y'all about him. Just like y'all say, well, and it come up, because I'm gonna say he was a good dude though. He was cool. If he liked you, he was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's kind of contradictory, because you see, and I'm telling you, he was violent. He was a violent dude. You ain't gonna survive in prison without being violent. You're definitely not gonna survive in a place like the wall without being violent. It's just not gonna happen. They gonna gobble you up, eat you up, spit you out, and don't care nothing about your life, and don't care nothing about your family, don't care nothing about you trying to go home. They don't care nothing about none of that. So obviously he knew this, and he had already carved his niche into where he fit in the hierarchy of this penitentiary. He doing what he want to do, how he want to do it. He got his own system. He got his own little circle, and he gonna defend that. He gonna defend it. If you owe him some money, he coming to get that money. Either way, he coming and get it. you know. And I seen him pull up on police that owe him money. I'm telling you, I seen him pull up on police that owe him money. I'm talking about pressing them like it's a dude that's locked up. You better get my money, man. I don't care about you ain't get paid, man. Man, when you come, you don't come to work tomorrow. Don't come to work tomorrow in this pod if you ain't got my money. And he got that thing in his hand on a police. On a police, man. And I don't know why it seems like to me, because I'm so young and green, I'm like, man, why don't we just get them locked up, or just the police, or they could come cross them up, or they wasn't. They was scared, man, because he had that much power. He had that much power. He know in his mind, probably if he got P.I. locked up, P.I. gonna have somebody put a hit out on him. And he don't be able to come to work at all because somebody gonna do something to him. If P.I. had to pay him, somebody was gonna do something to him. And this is the type of atmosphere that we was in when we was in the war back then. Now I'm young and green and don't know nothing, and I'm watching all of this, and you could imagine my head is like, I'm like super duper paranoid in the whole joint the whole time I was there. I told you I didn't go to the visiting room and come back without taking the Bethlehem with me. I didn't go to the shower without taking the Bethlehem with me. I didn't come down there stairs to use that phone. I didn't come out that cell without that Bethlehem with me, because that's how paranoid I was, because I was seeing so much and it was coming so fast and it was so early and I didn't even know what was going on. I just had been to the jail and receiving, and I won't even at receiving for the full time that I was supposed to stay there. You understand? So this is the world that they threw me into. And in the world that I got thrown into, in that block that I was in, P.I. he was him. You know what I'm saying? They could say what they want about it because he got older, you know, because he was already up there then. But man, P.I., man, I can't imagine when he was young, because he's a hot head, man. He was snap. He was snap, and he'll just go from talking regular to just his whole face will change, and he'll just get to holler. And next thing you know, if you look at his hand, he got something in his hand. It's like you never even see him pull it out, but he end up having something in his hand. And he be shaking too. He be like, see, when it's like a nervous joint, when you know somebody, them the ones that are the key. He be shaking, he be like, and he ready, man. He ready to slice you up, you know. So yeah, man, P.I. was definitely a gangster, man. I got to say that, you know what I'm saying. And like I say, I cool with him, man, you know, because I used to talk to him. He used to try to give me a little game and stuff, you know. I used to listen, but at the time, looking back on, I won't listening, you know, because I still had that stigma in my head, like, you know, you mess with dudes, you know what I'm saying. Even though I done seen him demonstrate, I still was like still in that stigma in my head, because I'm coming off the street. I don't know penology. I don't know penitentiary rules and regulations. So I'm looking at like, man, you on some freaked out stuff, you know. But I listened to him because he knew what was going on in the penitentiary. I just didn't understand that. So I used to listen to him. Yeah, man, you got a lot of time. You know, you gotta search yourself. You can't go for nothing. You know, I listened to that talk. But then, like I said, I ran into him years later. You know what I'm saying? Years later, you know, and he was on different institution with me and stuff. And he was still moving kind of like the same way, but he got older and older, but he was moving the same way. You know what I'm saying? I told you, I remember him being at a poker game on the jump, and they was arguing about the money. And dude was acting like he was getting ready to do something to him. You know what I'm saying? A younger dude, young little Bill, walking around like this all the time. I used to get him all the time. I don't even want to call his name, because I don't even want to give him no prop. I didn't like him anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't like him because I ain't like his attitude. Because I've been in gambling games and stuff with him too. I ain't like him. But anyway, he was acting like he was gonna do something to P.I. And P.I. jumped up and was looking for something to grab it cool, like he gonna hit me, and everybody like, and P.I. old now. I'm talking about he got the least at this time be in his 60s, you know. And this dude at the time probably was in his early 30s, you know what I'm saying? And acting like he gonna do, but he don't know. P.I. would have caught him later on and cut his throat. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like interview. I said, man, y'all go ahead, man. You ain't do nothing to that, man. Woo. That was really like the beginning of me and him, like not really, you know. But I didn't like him anyway. So that just put a thorn in it where we weren't never super cool. And he's just, you know, always speak because we was in the same circles. Because at the time I was gambling a lot, so he used to always speak. But I knew he had a thing against me. But then again, though, He the same one that I told y'all to get to fight with my homeboy, and my homeboy kissed him. Same guy. I ain't call his name. You go back and watch the video, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, you know, but yeah, but P.I. he stayed like that the whole time, man. I don't know where he ended up. I don't know if he ever got out. I hope he did, because like I said, he was getting older and older, and he was doing more and more time. But I know more or less he never changed his ways from the time that I had met him way back there in the 80s. He had never changed his ways. He was still doing the same thing. He was still thugging. He just was getting older. But I would have bet anything, that no matter where he was, he had a weapon on him. He had a weapon, a makeshift weapon, or something. He got something to defend himself, because he ain't gonna never be, you know, naked without a weapon. That's what I remember about him the most. And I know that was carved in his mentality from the time that he did. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there in the 80s, so he probably had been in there since the 70s. So he already had knew what the count was. And then he coming up in a place like the wall, he knew. So once you start doing your bit a certain way, then this is how you live. This is how you understand this is the survival code. And that was his survival code, to always have a weapon. And he gonna use it. You know what I'm saying? And I know he knew at the time that, you know, things he done and using a weapon or whatever will probably, you know, lessen his chances of ever getting out on the street. But I don't think he cared. I think he cared more about surviving than he cared about, you know, that. You know, because you got to survive in order to get on the street. If you don't survive, you ain't going on the street anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's a double-edged sword. You know, what you do to survive listen, this the double-edged sword. What you do to survive so you could try to get on the street may be the very thing that cement the fact that you ain't going to go on the street. And just think about that. What you have to do to survive in prison to get on the street may be the very thing that stops you from ever being able to get back on the street. This is what they're doing to Bo Billy right now. The way he lived in penitentiary is what's stopping him from coming on the street, not for what he did on the street to get in the penitentiary. That time is up. That time is over and done with. You're doing penitentiary time now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how wicked prison is, man. It's wicked. It's a contradiction. It's just wicked, man. And you have to live a certain way in order to just, you know, just to be safe, man. But without a doubt, man, you know, all the gangsters and all of the shot callers and ballers and whatever you want to call them in the penitentiaries that I met, I would have to say P.I. was the first one. First. I ain't saying he was the most dangerous. I ain't saying he was the most killer, B.O. He was the first, though. He was the first one I met that was a gangster. You know what I'm saying? And by definition, he will hurt you. He will send you away from here. You know, regardless of what you thought about what he was doing, whether you agreed with it or disagreed with it, he will send you away from here. When I met him, you know what I'm saying? And obviously dudes in there already knew that by the way they respected him and by the way they dealt with him. You know what I'm saying? So, man, so shout out to P.I., man. The original gangster, you know. The original gangster that I met, you know. But yeah, man, I just had that because I was thinking about old Sugar Ray Robinson, the original king, the only king. But yeah, just made me want to share that with y'all, man. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Talk to me in the comments, man. I talk back. Big love, TBP Nation. Man, y'all go check out Boxing Talk, man, with Banky and Jay podcast. Keep your notifications on. We're going to start going live. We ain't got no set date right now when we're going to go live, but we going to go. And once we start, we're going to continue to go live and build that community up over there. Y'all keep locked in. I know on Pure Deliciousness, I know we had to use that to substitute for this flammery, but I'm going to be cooking and talking some stories over there as well. And y'all make sure y'all you know, stay locked into this channel, man. Spread the word, man. We trying to get this message out there, man, and save a couple of people if we can. You know, God willing. Y'all be safe, be smart, man. Make good decisions, man. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound. Man, R.I.P. to the legend Pinky. R.I.P. man to Young Low Key, man. We out here, TBP Nation, man. Y'all duck them hooks, man. They out there, and they meant to take you down, but we ain't going for it.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.